Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Again, Merry Christmas. It's me, Mr. Ty. Yes, I know I look ridiculous. Go ahead and let me know in the comments how silly I look. But anyways, we actually just unboxed the FPV Crate box, and one of the things that we got inside it was this frame. This is the Yema something. Long story short, it's from Team Motor, and this is their racing frame. So we're going to go ahead, take everything out of the box again. If you saw the FPV Crate box, which is going to be somewhere up in that corner if you want to check it out, we've already taken everything out. However, in this video, I'm going to go ahead and build it for you guys, as well as we're going to get a weight on the frame, and I'm going to tell you what my opinion is on the carbon and everything about it. So stay tuned, guys. Alright, so here we go. This does come wrapped in cellophane. I took that off so I could show off everything inside during the FPV Crate unboxing, as well as most of the stuff that's just scattered in here came in a nice little baggie. But one of the first things you'll notice when you open the box is you have an instruction book showing you everything that comes inside this box, as well as it shows a quick little diagram of how to put it together. Get a nice little canopy. Looks like it's molded. Let's see what the weight is on that. An 8-gram canopy, so actually a pretty light canopy, especially compared to 3D printed canopies. However, I would be... This probably isn't the strongest material, and if it's cold outside, you'll probably break this pretty easily. Comes with a battery strap, 4.5 grams, bag of hardware, little battery pad. If you want to add that, it's going to be 1.3 grams. This is a fin. This is optional. Came out to 4.2 grams. Comes with 3 little zip ties. This is actually pretty cool. It's a 3D printed part for your antenna. That comes in at just shy of 2.9 grams. And if you look at this frame, actually, the way that it's packaged and everything, this is exactly how the Transtech frames come. In fact, I got a Transtech frame, and the only issue I have, the carbon looks very premium. Yeah, in fact, I can guarantee that this is made from the Transtech manufacturers. But the issue is the carbon, I'll try to show it on camera. I don't know if you can see how much that's bending, but it becomes delaminated super easy. This frame was probably in about less than 10 light tumbles and 2 or 3 pretty hard crashes, and most of the arms now are delaminated actually pretty bad. So definitely something to keep in mind with this frame. It is a very nice frame, but like I said, it does come the carbon does become delaminated over time. So first, let's go ahead and open up these arms. And I don't have anything against Transtech. Their designs are pretty cool. Like I said, the only thing is on their racing frames, since their arms are quite a bit thinner than other frames, they do become delaminated. The weight of each of these arms is just shy of 8.5 grams per arm. Bottom plate, 7.24. The top of the sandwich bottom plate is 12.2. This little guy holds your components inside here. Less than a gram. This is like, I would say a 0.5 mil carbon, pretty light. The arms that hold the camera in place actually are thicker than this. Those together are 1.1 grams. And yeah, that's all the carbon pieces. Alright, so first we're going to start out by taking the 24 mil 3mm screws that it has right here. And we're going to take out these nuts. And we are going to go ahead and put that into the frame. It looks like Oh, that's cool. And they're on slots. So if you are running a 20 by 20, you move it in on the slot. And if you're running a 30 by 30, you just put it on the outside of the slot. And it looks like we're going to do it with the press nuts facing upwards like that. And the two press nuts in the front are going to face down because those are going to be screwed through for the canopy. Now, I would highly recommend when you're doing this to put a drop of Loctite on your nut itself or at the base of the 24 mil bolt. The reason for that is it seems like it's going to be kind of difficult after we put everything together to get to these, and that will definitely help out with them not coming apart while you're flying. And in fact, I would actually probably recommend using, depending on how you're mounting your flight controllers, I might actually recommend using different hardware, like maybe some gummies or some nylon nuts right here, and nylon bolts. That way, if you're not soft mounting, or if your flight controller doesn't have the gummies already in it, you can soft mount it, or you can also use the nylons. That way in a crash, you won't be putting all that shock through your components. But if you want to use the hardware that comes with it, that I would, like I said, definitely recommend putting that drop of Loctite there. I'm going to fast forward through this. I'm just going to put all 4 of these on real quick. Alright, now we're going to set it to the side. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to install this little shelf into the canopy. This is so you can put a VTX on top if it's small enough, or maybe a receiver. It just gives you another space inside the frame to mount something, as well as I'm sure it gives it a little bit of structural integrity through this middle section. So we're going to take out these super small, it looks like they're Phillips head screws, so I'm going to have to find a small screwdriver. Here we go. Come on. There we go. And we're just going to screw all 4 of these into the plastic, holding this little plate in place. Alright, there we go. And let's see. Let's make sure I have one here somewhere. There we go. So here's a little crossfire that should so it looks like if you put this in there first, something like a crossfire should fit up in there, or a little S-Bus receiver, or even the Nano Race VTXs might fit up in there. Nice little spot to put one of those micro components for your racer in the very top. So next we're going to put on the arms. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this bottom plate, and then we need the 12mm screws. Right from the razor blade. There it is. And it's not recessed or anything, so it doesn't really matter which side you put it in on. These are going to go through, pretty sure, yeah, the 2 outer holes. So the out one and then the one on the outside right there. Like so. Then you're going to take your frame, the top part of the frame, you're going to sandwich it like that, and then you're just going to tighten those down. And I would recommend putting a small drop of Loctite when you do go to do this. When you finally build it out with all your components, I would take a drop of Loctite and put it right in the top of the screw right here, or not the screw, the press nut. That way when the screw threads up into it, it'll get it all worked throughout there. Okay. And then just go ahead and do that for all 4 of them. Now, one thing I did notice while putting this together, this does have a little notch cut out, so if you do a 30 by 30, this will slide right into there, and it adds an extra point where, let's see if I can try to show the camera, where the arm is kind of hugging or gripping this, so there's 3 points of contact. However, if you are running a 20 by 20 and it's slid all the way in like that, you don't really have those 3 points of contact anymore. And the issue I'd have with this frame, all frames that only use 2 screws, after it gets beat around for a little while, the arms will start to get loose and they'll wiggle. So the design I'm not the biggest fan of so far, just something to keep in mind. But if you're running a 30 by 30, that would be less of an issue. Alright, we got all those tying down, and even now, brand new, there's a little bit of play in the arms. Like I said, that's definitely something with these frames where the arms are only connected in 2 points I don't personally like. If you look at a frame like this right here, this is the Arc 1 frame, and it's connected in the center with this iris. It has a screw right here, and then I don't have them in right now, but the stack screw would go through right there. And there is play in it right now, but it's only being held in by 1 screw. With that 3rd screw in, there's almost no play in frames like this. So just something to keep in mind if you're building this frame out for like durability and longevity. You definitely are going to have to worry about, like I said, this carbon. It's known to delaminate, and then also with it only having 2 points of contact, I definitely don't prefer that style. But if you're running a 30 by 30, like I said, these go into the arm. I don't know if you can see that, and that adds a 3rd point of contact, I guess. So you will have 2 12 mils left. These actually going to go into the rear right here to hold the canopy down. These have press nuts inside, as well as the frame has 2 press nuts in the front. So first things first, let's go ahead and put these little camera mounts in. Now the camera mounts are, the little elbow is going to be pointing outwards, and the smaller part is going to go up. So these guys are going to go in like that. Like so. And then you're going to take your frame, and there's actually 2 little slots right here in the canopy that go right over those little camera slots. Alright, there. Got it in. It's actually kind of difficult to get those mounted in there correctly, but once they click in place, it should hold pretty stiff. And then there's actually 3 screws here on the side, so depending on what size camera you're running, you can move it forward, or if the lens is really long, you can move it back, which is nice that they have those there for you, and they're pretty easily accessible by any tools. Alright, so next you're going to take this little TPU part that came inside it. This is to hold an AXI antenna or any other antenna that has the same diameter, and you'll just put the connector to the VTX out the back here. But you have to put that and try to sandwich it and hold everything together without it falling apart like that. And then you'll take those extra 2 12 mil screws you have, or bolts, and you will screw them right through the TPU and then into that little press bushing or press nut, whatever you want to call it, inside the canopy. Okay. Finally, you're going to take your last 2 screws. These are 10 mil screws, and these are the ones meant for the front of the canopy. And these you're actually going to screw down from the top into the press nut on the bottom. All right, and there you go. That is going to be the, oh, what's the name of this frame? The Yema frame, something like that, fully built. Now, if you want, you can add this little fin right here to the top. It looks like it would go right about, yeah, right about there. And you would take these zip ties and you would run it through here, and the other one would go through there like so. And you would zip tie this down to the top. And that will allow you, if you're in tall grass, to be able to turtle mode out of it. Let's go ahead and put that on real quick. There we go. Alright, so the all-up weight is 81 grams, or almost 82 grams, with the battery strap included. Comes out to 86.3, and if you decide to put this little fin on it, that fin comes out to 91.1 grams. So actually, all in all, this isn't the lightest frame. It is actually, it's pretty light. There's definitely lighter frames out there. There's also lighter frames that are also more robust. But what I do like about this frame is that they included this really nice 3D printed part right here. Access to the camera is quite easy, and it does look like you have quite a bit of space in here to put your components. The downsides, I would say, to this frame is if you have to take it apart to work on it, it's definitely going to be a pain to unscrew all these screws, because then, you know, that it's not just taking off a top plate at that point. If you have components on this top shelf, you're going to have to unplug or remove those, as well as this little guy is held in by those screws, so you unscrew that and this little guy is probably going to flop around. And trying to get these camera plates lined up is way harder than, say, something like this guy I got right here, which is the Arc 1 frame. Those camera plates slide in really easy, and it's really easy to manipulate and put those into place. On this guy, that's going to be just a little bit harder. Now, your wheelbase on this guy is going to be, looks like, exactly 150 by 150. Yeah, so this is a True X, and it's a 150 by 150. So that's your footprint. Okay, and I have this here for comparison. This is the Arc 1 frame, this guy right here, and this is actually a Stretch X, which, that's another thing, this is a True X. And with the Stretch X, which weighs slightly more than the True X version, the True X version comes out to, I think, 78 grams, but this frame is a gram lighter than that frame, and the arms are a little bit thicker. They're the same height, well, I guess wider, they're just a little bit wider. They interlock a lot better, and all in all, this frame's a lot easier to work on than this frame's going to be. And this frame is also far more durable. I've never had an issue with these arms becoming delaminated, as well as you're going to have a carbon top plate, which this one does not. They did this to save weight, but even though this doesn't have any standoffs and stuff, this guy right here with all the hardware in this bag, which you don't use all of it, weighs less than this guy does. So just something to keep in mind. I'm not trying to say that this is a terrible frame. It definitely looks good, and as long as the screws are tightened down and it's not being crashed a lot, this frame definitely will perform well, or at least it looks like it will. But if you're looking for durability, I would definitely still go with the Arc frame over this. Also, the Arc frame is $25, and I think this one's retailing for $65. Let me double check. Oh, sorry, no, $69. That's $70 frame. So yeah, definitely, you know, if you're buying this, you're definitely just buying it for the looks. So keep that in mind. Alrighty guys, well thanks for staying all the way until the end. That was my in-depth review of this, I can never say the name right, what is it again? Yema frame. Definitely a cool looking frame. If I had to rate it 1 out of 10, I would give it a 6, mainly because for the price point, there's other frames out there that I think are much more durable and come in around the exact same weight. However, if you're looking for a really sleek, cool looking design, there are very few frames I've seen out there that look as cool as this one. So if you want a cool looking racer, this might be one to check out. If you like what I did here or you found this informative, make sure you go ahead and hit a like. If you think I got something wrong, go down in the comments, let me know. And if you think I earned your subscription, like always, feel free to subscribe. I'll see you all in the next video. Stay safe, fly safe, something like that.